Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Afrolynk Expert Live. I'm your host, Kumbira Ichipadza. Welcome to the new month, fresh month, new things. And tonight we're going to be joined by Aisha Tofa from Nigeria. She's the founder of Startup Kano, as well as Pacifique Uwineza from Chamber of Youth Entrepreneurs in Rwanda. So far, we're waiting for Aisha to come through, but we already have Pacifique in the house. Pacifique, hello.
Hello.
How's it in Rwanda?
We are doing very good despite this COVID-19, but we are trying to cope with by following different measures that have been put in place by our government just to be able to stop this pandemic.
I mean, I was also very impressed, even at when the whole pandemic started. Rwanda was one of the leading countries in terms even of putting up measures, and I think now you also see the benefits of that. So well done to Rwandan government for that. And also, I see your internet is very, very, very good.
Yes, why? So our supportive government, so they are really keen to invest in the right infrastructure, like for instance, the IT. So it's one of the big investment they have been making so far, so that they can help us speed up our businesses. So digitization, it's really key if we are looking to move into the fourth industrial revolution, whereby we need more technologies in the place so that they can help us move on to the next stages.
That's wonderful. Yeah, so our topic tonight is support of young talent as future investment in Africa. This is something that you are at the heart of from a Rwandan context as well. But maybe just for our viewers, may you just briefly tell us about yourself. Who is Pacifique Uwineza, as well as what does the CYE? What is the CYE?
First of all, thanks for having me for today Afrolynk webinar series. So it's my pleasure. So as you said, my name is Uwineza Pacifique. I'm the Executive Director at the Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs. CYE stands for the Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs within the Private Sector Federation of Rwanda. Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, moving on. As the executive director, it's a big title. What is your role? What does your role involve?
So I do coordinate different activities that aim to empower young entrepreneurs across the country and Rwanda. To be more specific, we promote entrepreneurship here in Rwanda by making sure that we transform this nation into a private sector-led economy through promotion of entrepreneurship, innovation, and to advocate among youth. Basically, this goes with our mission.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Rwanda over the past few years has become sort of the epicenter of the African startup scene. We also had last year the Youth Connect Africa that was held in Rwanda. What steps have you, as the people of Rwanda, taken in order for you to be at this level where you are, whereby everyone else in Africa is looking up at you? What has been can you take us through the steps that you've taken as a country?
Yes. Thank you so much for a very good question. As most of the African countries, you realize that the most of their population, they are youth. Like for us, the youth occupy like 65% of our population, they are youth. So you can't realize any economic growth without taking into consideration the youth contribution. So the young people in our country, they are the forefront of our nation economic growth. So even within our national strategic transformation that was initiated in 2017 for 7 years to end up in 2024. So the role of the youth has been taken into consideration. So coming to where you say that the government has been doing a lot to support youth entrepreneurship, it's because of also the good governance, yeah. The good governance from our president, Paul Kagame, and also our values, yeah. The sense of ownership, we make sure that we own all our initiatives, that the first contribution has to come from ourselves. So the next thing is accountability, to make sure that we are accountable for any decision that we take, that we are looking to aim for good results. The next thing is self-resilience. So we realize that you can't achieve anything if you don't know where you are heading. So this sense of resilience, it's a very good approach and a very good value. Yeah, to know that anything, any contribution, to ask for any contribution, you need to start from yourself and from your past experience, and own any single activity that you are looking to promote. So the government has been very supportive to promote entrepreneurship here in Rwanda. So, and also we have a very conducive environment whereby different innovations, they are supported. Thank you.
I mean, the way you've said it, it's something that you're not just saying it, you believe it, and the
You're
way
right.
you also put it, you took it from the high level, from the presidency itself, and you brought it down to the individual, which is, I mean, these are the core values of what makes a people. It's so nice and so refreshing to hear a fellow African brother talking about words like good governance, talking about words of accountability, talking about words like ownership, talking about supportive government. So, I mean, I want to give an example. We've seen a lot over the past few years that President Kagame has taken the lead, not only from a Rwandan perspective, African perspective. He has taken quite a lead in terms of advocating for a united Africa, in terms of advocating for more Africa on Africa business. So it's also now talking to you, you're not only speaking for the CYE, you're actually an ambassador of what Rwanda is doing as well. So thank you very much for that insight. I mean, to everyone else who's listening across the African continent, there it is, the formula. It's simple, it's good governance, it's accountability, it's ownership, it's supportive governance, and it's also heavily on self-resilience. So thank you very much for that one. It was quite a solid point as well. Yes. So going further to our topic today, what support are you guys giving for talented young entrepreneurs in Rwanda? I think maybe probably take me through from an entry point level where an entrepreneur has got an idea from maybe ideation stage. Then how do you take us through the support system that is there for any young entrepreneur?
Thank you. So, as I said, our main mandate is to promote entrepreneurship in Rwanda.
Yeah.
So, all those talents that they do have in different business sectors. So, the first thing is to advocate for those maybe talent they have or different issues they face in the businesses. So within different platforms that we have here in Rwanda, we have some public and private dialogues whereby we discuss different issues that our talented young entrepreneurs that they are facing in their daily businesses, and we come up with different solutions. Like for instance, in the within the past 2 years, we're facing the issue of standards and certification of young people involved in manufacturing, making jewelry, soaps, but with different discussion that we had with the public institutions. So the areas that they need a specific support for young people learning manufacturing companies, and they come up with a specific program to support young people involved in manufacturing so that they can easily get those certification and standards of their product. So that's one thing. We also have different platform like tax platform, issues like environmental issues platform. So all those, they are platform that we group together so that we can influence policy making decisions within different dialogues. So the next thing is capacity building. As you said, we make sure that their ideas, they are really commercial viable. Yeah, and also it's the same issue across Africa. We realize that we have bright innovation ideas, but when it comes to get the right guidance on how can I really market my idea so that it can really give me back the benefits. So this is something that we really focus on to make sure that they are really very well equipped so that they can turn into their idea into idea generation so that they bring out the most from their ideas generation. So we partner with different organizations, some BDC, business development service partners, whereby they go through different business clinics program so that they can really revamp or do their business models. So the next thing is market hubs. They do participate in different exhibition trade fairs so that they can really promote their businesses, products to the community. So another service that we offer, they study tours. So they go abroad or they get in touch with international young business people. They are colleagues, so they learn from each other. They share some business practices and also some business deals. So last but not the least is I talked I'm missing that one, but
You talked
as you are
about text, mentorship.
yeah,
Okay,
sure.
you can remember it. I
As
think
you
I
are
liked also.
saying,
Yes, I
yeah.
like the part about the you said the exchange or the traveling abroad. On that note, yeah, I would also like to tell our viewers that it's about that time of the year in September, on the September 25th, we're going to be having our fifth Afrolynk conference in Berlin. So yeah, good news as well from yesterday from the German government that people from, for example, in Africa, Rwanda, Algeria are able to travel. So Pacific, tell the startups in Rwanda to start preparing so that we can be able to choose some good startups that can be able to come for the conference as well in
Yeah, I
September.
know my people, they are
Thank
ready.
you.
Yeah, ready. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So then I'll talk to my conference team to get in touch with you. Hello, Aisha in Kano in
Hi, how
Nigeria.
are you? Hello, can you
Fine,
hear
thanks.
me?
And yourself? Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Actually, I have a very bad network, so I just have to like get out of the place and I have to be in the car.
Okay. But can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So thank you very much for joining us, Aisha.
Thank
To our viewers, this is Aisha Tofa, the founder of Startup Kano. Aisha, please just tell us a bit about Aisha as well as what Startup Kano is doing as well. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Aisha Tufa, and I'm a communication specialist. I'm an advocate of women and youth and a technology enthusiast. I'm very passionate about building businesses that will change the face of our society. So I think, in brief, that's a bit about me.
Okay. Yeah, and more. Want to talk a bit as well about Startup Kano. What are you? What are you guys doing with Startup Kano? When was it started, and what are you guys currently doing as well?
Okay, Startup Kano is a company that advocates for technology, entrepreneurship, and self development. We incubate and accelerate businesses, and then we train them on how to secure government grants we have to secure grants from the government and investors. We also offer guidance of bootstrapping strategies and startup growth. So to achieve that, we have the co-working space. I think our co-working space is the first in Kano, where people come in, network and collaborate. We have the learning platforms for women in technology and entrepreneurship. We have platforms for the tech developers, and we also engage young people in community events, mostly in partnership with both local and international organizations, with the same mission as us. So basically, that's what we do, trying to create opportunities for young people.
Okay. Yeah, that's really great, and that's I mean that's also the focus of of our topic today. Maybe just another
Yeah.
question, Aisha, so as to catch up with us from what we've been discussing. What you've mentioned as a few key things, but what practical support as well are you guys giving young entrepreneurs or within Kano or Nigeria, so to speak, the support
Sorry.
system? I said, what support, practical support, are you guys giving to the young entrepreneurs in Kano?
Okay, so basically, a lot of young people in Kano are doing amazing things, but we live in an ecosystem where there is no enough support from the government and from other, private bodies. So with the little that we have, actually, we've been in operation for 4 years now. So we try to see that firstly, the co-working space. You come in, okay, let's say you are let's say you're a graphic designer. You come into the co-working space and you meet someone who is a coder, you meet a web developer, you meet a lot of people, and then together you collaborate and you do amazing things. Then, like I said, we have the communities where people would come and join. We have the developers community, we have the women in tech and the women in business. Because here in this part of the country, in northern Nigeria, the major issue for women, firstly, we lack inclusion of women in both business and technical aspects. So we try to see that we solve that. And one thing I realize is the issue is always either the parents doesn't support it or the husband doesn't support it. So we're like, what can we do to create an enabling environment for these women to earn from their comfort zones, to earn from home? So we launched the Wing Tech, the Women in Tech, and the Women Founders Group. So we mentor these women, we train them and give them technical skills on how to build and sustain a business. So at the end of the day, we now have women that can build a website, women that can take photographs. And the good thing about it is you meet these ladies online, you meet them You give them a job online, they execute it, and you pay them online without even meeting you, because that has been the issue. The family or the spouse doesn't want them to, yeah. So they have earned from home, which is, I think, a very good thing. So that is part of the
Wow.
things that we. Then we have the acceleration program, where we try to see that businesses that are in the market but are held back. So we try to see what is the problem. We look at the track record, we look at how they manage the businesses, we look at all aspects of the business and see how we can, work on it to push them to the market. If they're looking for funding, we see how we can link them with investors. So basically, that is how we support people here in the ecosystem.
You're doing an amazing job, Aisha. As an African man, I'm
Thank you.
really touched and I'm really disappointed in ourselves that in 2020
It's
we
it's
are
it's,
talking, we are
it's
talking, we're having this
depressing.
conversation. We are
Depressing.
having this conversation. I also want to say to you, and this is a challenge that I know maybe I'm going to get into trouble, but we have what we call Afrolynk 24. It's an online learning platform, and we've been training young people and women across the African continent. And I want to get our 2024 team in to connect with you because we've always valued upgrading, empowering young women in tech as well. So Aisha, from Afrolink, we're going to bring Fact 24 into Kano. We're going to train women in
That's
entrepreneurship,
amazing.
in career development, in startup due diligence, and in tech development as well. So
That's amazing.
we'll definitely support you. We'll definitely support. It's like a tale of two stories where we are in both in Africa. We are talking here with Pacifique. He's just been talking about good governance. He's been talking about accountability. He's been talking about support, And on the other hand, we have, but this is why we are here to collaborate. This is why we are here to take the good and the bad and put everything in together. So thank you very much, Aisha. We really appreciate what you
Thank
do.
you.
And to all the other women involved in this program, our mothers, our sisters, yeah, we are there as well to support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Pacific,
much.
uh, you deal with a lot of startups within your ecosystem.
Yes.
Also, as Afrolink, this year I said we're celebrating our 5th year of our Afrolink conference. And one thing that we are also touching upon is heroes and heroines competition where we want to award the best startups across Africa. But I want you also to go from a local perspective in Rwanda. Give us just a couple of startups, especially during this COVID era, that you could say they really stood up against the challenges, and there are people, there are startups that you can rightly say from a Rwanda perspective, these guys did well. Yeah.
Thank you. So we have a couple of them. And during this COVID, they didn't sleep, so they have tried to mitigate with this challenge of COVID-19 pandemic. So the first heroine I can say is Christelle Pizera. He learns what access to, and actually she was awarded last year in November during Jack Ma Foundation our award ceremony that took place in Ghana. I think if I'm not mistaken, she was among the free runners. So she was also still learning her company and providing water solutions to the community. Yeah. So the next ones they are in the food services. So during this COVID, every home has become like a supermarket. Everyone wants to buy more just to save his ribs. So there are some young entrepreneurs who develop some strategy, some home delivery for their food products. So there's another one running Curry Group. So they are known on their Vita bread. It's made out of sweet potatoes. So they've been able to deliver food or bread to different clients across Kigali. So they have demonstrated that even if you can have a challenge your external challenge in your business, it's not the time to go and say, I'm stopping, I'm shutting down my business. It's a time to refrain and resonate. How can I really cope with this COVID-19 and bring out from you some new ways, innovations on how we can cope with this COVID-19. So another one is Park and Peak. So it's run by Segon Fidens. So he deliver groceries across Kigali. So buy some harvest from farmers or even some big markets. So he tries to deliver to home. So he has a very nice platform. So he has been a very good model during this COVID-19. So he didn't stop his business. What he did is just to sit down and brainstorm on how he can also turn those challenges into opportunities. So his model is really promising even in the future as we are now in this post COVID-19. So there are a couple of them, but best practices on the ground, they are really visible.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's something that we've seen across the African continent, that a lot of startups within the logistics sector, within agriculture, within health, within fintech have been able to pivot, have been able to make the most as well out of the COVID, out of the crisis as well. It's always great, especially to see young people doing new things and young people progressing. I think we lost Aisha there for a moment, but let me just go out and also greet some of see the comments from some of our viewers. We have Sven Mangos, happy to join again. Welcome from the Lead Hub Startup Incubator from Hamburg. Hi Sven, how are you? Pacifique, these guys
Yes.
also write a very good program in Hamburg in Germany. I'll also like to link you guys. I think there can be a lot of good collaborations from this guys. Sven, thank you for joining once again. Arthur Amoa James watching live from Ghana. Thank you, James. Julia Ma says, thank you for your great work, Aisha. And Wesa Andrade Talia watching from Namibia. How's it there in Windhoek, Namibia? Thank you for coming through. Aisha, thank you for joining. Can you hear me?
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. You recently started a startup during this COVID crisis. Could you tell us a bit more about what motivated you and how has it gone as well?
Can you see my picture?
No, we can't see you, but you can. But if you can hear us, you can speak. Did you hear my question?
Yes, I.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's we're talking.
Sorry, we can't hear you properly. Guys, allow us to just have a few seconds that we try to get Aisha back online as well. I mean, her story is very good. She's doing great things in Kano, Nigeria, against all odds, and she's back again. Aisha, yes, my question. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So the baby bank is a social enterprise.
What is the name?
So what the baby? Maybe I should type it.
Yeah, please type it as well because yeah. But go ahead and explain as well.
Okay. So my daughter ran out of diaper and
Yeah.
it was due now. So we couldn't get diaper anywhere. All the- So we can't go out. So I started thinking, what about the parents that, can't even afford a diaper and baby food? Because mostly the palliatives people are getting is adult food, adult thing. And it seems like we have forgotten about the baby. And the babies are not people that with anything to. And you can't just tell them there's no food. They don't know what that means. Diaper is a necessity, very huge necessity. So I just became so emotional, and I thought we have to do something. So we launched a fund where we support vulnerable families with baby diaper, baby food. And so far we've impacted 75 families, and we have partnered with a pediatric here in where we launched young pap for the babies. It's a highly nutritious tradition. It's made from millet and soya beans and granules. So uh, partnered with a pediatric hospital here in where I baby pack.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm just trying to look as well at something that would so that I could give the viewers a better perspective because I had an article about your startup as well. So yeah, maybe sorry to our viewers, you couldn't hear properly what she was saying, but she says that during the COVID crisis, she started a company, Baby something. I think she's going to write it down, whereby it was necessitated by the challenge that a lot of people forget about the babies, but we are stocking food, we are stocking everything, but we forget that babies also need things like diapers. So this is what motivated Aisha to start this startup during the COVID crisis. I think she's going to write it down as well, so that those who can be able to look it up can look it up. I like this idea of innovation, of challenges becoming opportunities. Pacific.
Yes,
My next
please.
question to you, yes, would be, I mean, there's not a lot wrong in Rwanda. Everything is on the startup scene is very good. What do you think, from an Afrocentric perspective as a continent, what more needs to be done so that we can be able to identify young talent, so that we can be able to invest in our young entrepreneurs so that they can become globally competitive as well? What, from your experience, from the work that you do, what do you think are the key things that we need to do as an African continent?
Thank you so much. So on the level for Africa continent level, so the first thing is to support all those good initiatives from young people across Africa. You guys in Africa, we have blind ideas in the press, but the environment is not really conducive. Yeah, you find some of the presses they don't really give much importance to the role of the youth they can play to their economic agenda. So we need first of all to support youth and also to give them a say in different policy making decisions so that we really touch on their needs, yeah, when it comes to promote their talent. The next thing is to look also to the in terms of coaching and mentorship for their bankable project or their talent commercialization. So you realize sometimes they are not given much guidance. They are left behind. So we need really to give them the right coaching and mentorship, especially from those veterans from Africa that we have. Yeah. The good thing that there's Tony Rimery, he launched in the previous years a very good foundation to support young people across Africa with bright innovation so that within their retail they have, they can really access a seed capital for them to pilot their project to the next stage, which is really good. It's access to capital across Africa in different youth. It's an issue, yeah. But to look into in our agenda in different nations across Africa, it's really a very, very, very good approach. The last one, but not the least, is to collaborate. Yeah, Africans, we don't collaborate. We don't collaborate in different aspects. Yeah, so even in our economies, everyone wants to do on its own. If there is a way we can share our resources that we have in Africa, I know with this ecosystem of entrepreneurship, it can really very be of impactful. Yeah. For instance, like the government of Rwanda, they launched in the past years the Youth Connect Africa, and now it has become a very good network across Africa, whereby all youth across Africa they bring together their know-how, their knowledge, skills, and they bring their synergy together for the sake of finding the common solutions for the Africans problems that we are facing and turn into some opportunities. Yeah. So if we can have those common platform across Africa, whereby youth in Ghana, youth in Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Namibia, they brainstorm on different issues that they are facing, challenges, and they turn into opportunities, Africa can be the best continent ever. So this is goes that the future of this continent, it lies in the hands of young and women's across in Africa. We don't need to wait from Western countries to do things that we can do on our own. So with different governments really supportive across Africa, I'm sure we're gonna make it for Africa agenda in terms of economic growth and prosperity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pacific. Thank you very much. I'm staying in the background. There's some technical issues, unfortunately. I'm sorry to our viewers.
Yeah, it's understandable.
No, but Pacific, you also have a mentorship program. Would you tell us a little bit about your mentorship program?
Actually, it's going to be launched very soon within our chamber, and we'll be the ones to coordinate this program for coaching and mentorship. The way it's going to be done, of course, we can do it alone. So we need the different partners in the institution in the ecosystem. So with the Ministry of Youth and Culture in Rwanda, very soon we signed an MOU whereby the chamber will be at the forefront of promoting entrepreneurship in Rwanda by making sure that any single activities is really coordinated in a very good channel of getting the good result by supporting youth across the country. So mentorship will be one of the key to promote entrepreneurship in Rwanda, whereby we are going to see the needs, yeah, they have in their businesses and bring on the board different experts that they are going to come on the board to guide them, to show them the way to go if they want to learn professional businesses. Yeah. We used to have some briefcase companies whereby you're a CEO, but actually your company is not that. So we need to have convincing businesses whereby in the next 2 years, we'll be showcasing a huge number of businesses led by startups, really able to scoop some investors' money. Yeah. So mentorship and coaching, that will be a weapon for to help us be those young people in businesses be on very good caliber to be able to secure different funds available for them to grow up their businesses. So within this year, starting this July, we are going to create forums of those Past Youth Connect beneficiaries across the country. They are going to elect their leaders so that every day they'll be the one to take the ownership to see how they can direct their forums. Of course, looking their guidance that we are giving them at the top. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Pacifique. Wesa Talaya from Namibia says, thank you for the topic on investment supporting young talented startups. Sven Mango says, thanks, Pacifique. I also believe with all existing resources in Africa, your country, great businesses can be started. The access to the resources are still the key for success. Definitely. I mean, you touched upon mentorship as well, and it's also nice to see that a lot of people, as well, a lot of people on the ground are seeing the value of mentorship. As Afrolynk, we've also launched our own digital mentorship program, North to South, whereby people from the global North also mentor people from the global South, but more importantly, also South to South mentorship within the African continent itself, within different localities as well, because that is also very important. But every entrepreneur needs a mentor. In fact, everyone in our lives that we live, our day-to-day lives, we need mentorship in our different facets of our life. So definitely there's a lot of room for collaboration in terms of mentorship, the different kinds of mentorships. But I think with mentorship, like you said, we'll get rid of the briefcase businesses, the briefcase directors. Instead, we have solid young men and women who have been cultured in the business culture, so enough to bring about strong companies as well. Pacifique, one thing that I wanted to ask as well from a Rwandan perspective,
Yes.
is in terms of collaboration, which are the key partners that you guys have engaged to, that within the ecosystem, that then help to get everything in order?
Of course, the first partner is the government of Rwanda within their ministries in the press. The first one with their mandate to support youth, it's the Ministry of Culture and Youth, the Ministry of Youth and Culture. So we are really partnering with them in different endeavors aiming to empower youth across the country, not only youth in businesses, even those ones in different formal and informal sectors. So the aim is to have very active citizens, youth who are really able to move this agenda of our nation to the next levels, who can pilot, the achievement we have as of now in the next future, so that we can have a better and better Rwanda that we are looking to have in the next future. So other partners, we have the Ministry of Trade and Industries. So we partner with them on any single day, whereby they support different youth involved in manufacturing, those micro industries. So they support them, giving them some guidance, and also helping them influence different policy-making decisions that are really touching different industries here in Rwanda. We also have the Ministry of Innovation and ICT. Actually, it used to be the Ministry of Youth and ICT, but we are now having the specific Ministry for Innovation and ICT, just to support all those brilliant innovations to be able to prototype, or even to be able to be given some support so that they can provide some solutions to different issues that the government is facing. That's why we realize some homegrown solutions, most of them, they come from those support that they give to those young tech companies with very brilliant innovation. So they give some funds so that they can really pilot their projects. So those are like the key main ones. Others, they are development partners like USAID, GIZ. So there are a couple of them, but when it comes to the ministries, those are the specific one. Doesn't mean that we don't collaborate with other ministries, but when it comes directly, those are the free ones. Yeah. But we are really having a very good supportive government and also very good development partners on the board.
It's amazing stuff. It's I mean, this is the first time ever I've ever heard someone talking about partners and he's just mentioning ministries within their own country. This is what it's supposed to be like, that charity starts at home. You build yourselves from within. So it's quite, I mean, this is just, I wish a lot of people could tune in and hear what you're saying. I mean, we're going to have this on YouTube as well. It's going to go to a lot of governments, to a lot of people who should look themselves in the eye and really say, wow, this is what it's supposed to be. The Rwanda model is what it's supposed to be. Aisha, I hope you're still there. I wanted to ask, I've got a couple of questions for you. Do you have any startups as well? Because I wanted to ask within this heroes and heroine section we're talking about during the COVID crisis, do you have any startups that you could say to us they stood up and against the challenge and actually are doing very well? That is number one. Then finally, what also do you think needs to be done more? Firstly, I mean, definitely from your own local perspective, then also from an African perspective in terms of developing young talent within Africa. Hello? Yeah, we seem to have lost Aisha there. Hello, Aisha. Yeah, so I think we've completely lost. Unfortunately, I think to our viewers, Aisha's story is very. Yeah, I think. Thank you. Yeah, you're back. Hi, Aisha. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't.
Hello. Can you hear us?
Let me try and join
Hello.
again.
Okay. Yeah, so Pacifique, maybe just as we wrap up now, from your own perspective, just what would you want to say out to our viewers that are listening from all across the globe in terms of your perspective within the Rwanda and also African entrepreneurial space? Maybe just before anything else you want to add or say to our viewers, would be welcome.
The first thing is to believe in ourselves. So to make sure that anything is possible, it's a matter of knowing what you want and also to explore different opportunities available here in Africa. So most of the young people they used to lie from themselves to see Africa. There are not opportunities, but there are huge opportunities. So it's a matter of getting the good guidance and also to collaborate with your peers, and you make a very good, strong team so that you can find solutions to most of the problems that we face here in Africa. I know if we stand together, like my friend from Nigeria, Aisha, he's helping some startups over there. So it's a she's a very good model for others, young people in Africa. The bad thing here in Africa, we don't want to learn from our colleagues. Sometimes we say, oh, this guy, he has another support from somewhere, but to be true, it's from his own knowledge, skills, and also the way he's very focused on her project. So this aspect of learning from each other and also exchanging best business practices and also learning from our failures. So, and also have good value, self resilience, as I said, accountability, and I forget the, the other one, but you talk about values also in businesses. They has to also to be taken into considerations. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Pacific. Over to you, Aisha. Yes, please. I saw you were nodding your head when you was talking there. What caught your mind? What caught your attention?
About what I'm doing?
No, about what he said.
Okay, yeah, he was talking about how people do not like to learn from their colleagues, which is a very wrong perception because you don't know how someone is working very hard to make a change in the community. You don't know what he's going through, how he is acquiring his skills, how many hours of sleep that person have lost just to make a change. And he is trying to tell you this is the right thing to do, and you're thinking, something else. This is a very wrong perception that we really need to change.
Aisha, okay, maybe just to touch on that one as well as we close off now. I think we're going to ask you as well to please we can do a video sometime, then post it for the viewers so that they get real value as well from the things that you were saying and also wanted to say in a good way. I want to ask to say, what do you think has to be done more from both local perspective, but from an Afrocentric perspective, in terms of helping, assisting, supporting young entrepreneurs?
Okay, I think first of all is mentorship, because a lot of young people have potentials to do amazing things to change the world, but they don't know how to. Everybody needs a mentor. Actually, just like my brother, we all have a mentorship platform, but ours is actually like 50%, on the way, but we're working on it. So I think we need mentorship. We need more leadership, courses, because people need to learn what real leadership is. Young people need to be engaged in everything that is happening, in the community. They don't feel included, if they don't feel like they are not part of the community, I don't think a lot of things can be achieved. So personally, I think, mentorship, inclusion, and leadership. With this, a lot of young people will do amazing things, honestly.
Thank you. I think the word of mentorship has been, it's a big word on the African scene. I think we ourselves as Afrolynk, we are trying to collaborate and also have a North-South mentorship program as well as a South-to-South mentorship. I think we all see the value of mentoring young people before they become the leaders that they're supposed to be as well. So that is very something that is very important. But since I still have you here, Aisha, I'll just another last question for you as well would be, which startups have can you, within your circle, within your ecosystem, that you would want to tell us to say these guys have stood up during this COVID crisis?
Okay, so in-house in Startup Kano, we have built um an app that will help, curb the spread of the virus, because the app allows doctors and users to report a case. It allows users to take a self-assessment test that will tell you the level of your risk, of getting infected with the virus. And if the risk is high, it alerts you to stay isolated, and call the rapid response team. And if you did not call that number, the result goes directly to the Ministry of Health. So they'll follow up, even if you didn't call. And another amazing feature of that, um, the pin location. We just finished working on. If you download the app, it will ask for your permission to, get your location. So whenever there is a case, particular location, and you have been to that location within, 2 or 3 days, the app will tell you that you have been, you might have been in contact, with a confirmed case. So you should go and get tested, or you should isolate yourself. And you can access news and how to, protect yourself, and all about when it comes to the virus. So I think that is one of the things we did for the people in our community. Also, we have the Payable app. The Payable app is a fintech app that allows you to pay your bills, online. Buy recharge card, pay the cable, the utility bills without actually going out, since there is lockdown and stuff like that. So that has also been, something we have been working on.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Just a question for you from Julia Ma. She says, Aisha, what is your advice for young women starting their own company or business? I think.
Okay, I think it depends on the kind of company they want to start, and it depends of the kind of woman she is, because the challenges for a married woman is different from the challenges for a single woman. But generally, we as women, we all have our challenges, bigger than the men. Yeah, so I think I would say, before any woman starts any business, let her be passionate about that business. Let her start because she loves that business, not because someone wants to do that. You know, you get what I mean. Let her be passionate about it,
No.
because when things are hard, because challenges will definitely come. So when that challenges are there, that passion is what is going to make her stay and keep going in that business. And that,
Okay.
secondly, she should be able to make sure that that business is bringing value to the community. It is not, if it's not going to give a good impact to the community, don't even do it. So always start
Yeah.
businesses solving problems in the community. Value.
Thank you. I think even myself as a man, I'll give men the same advice that you need to have passion. You also need to bring value to the community. Guys, we've just run out of time, but I want to thank you, Pacific in Rwanda, for taking
Thank
your
you so
time
much.
out to be with us tonight. I want to thank you, Aisha in Kano in Nigeria, for taking your time out as well to be with us. I think we need to do a video for the viewers so that they are able to understand and grasp everything that you were saying that we didn't also we're not able to show as well. But guys, it's always nice to meet young people who are doing exciting stuff on the continent. It's always nice to tell the beautiful African story by Africans as well, and keep up the good jobs in your different spheres. What's also important is for you guys as well, and also as with us as well, to all collaborate. We are in this ecosystem together. Let's see where we can also come in together and do something nice. At the end of the day, it's about the impact that we make. It's not just about talking, but also we need to do meaningful impact. So on that note, thank you very much. Thank you to our viewers who are there with us tonight. Have a good night and a pleasant weekend. We're out. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.